Hello from Pastor Ken in Hong Kong. Uh, Romans chapter 4. I've been going through Romans chapter 1, 2, and 3 so far. This is chapter 4. Personal discipline, but also a way to encourage you and for you to get to know me a little bit better, is by me going through every chapter in the New Testament and talking about it. Some people might say, Ken, you're doing this too fast. You're doing running commentary. But what sometimes we need to do is study the Bible very slow, one passage at a time, go into the words, the Greek, or in the Old Testament, the Hebrew. But I have done that, and I have read the Bible many times and have been a Christian for over 30 years. So right now, going through a chapter in 15 minutes, 20 minutes, is a way to get some of the basic ideas from the New Testament and share them with you, not only for my personal discipline and my worship of God through the Bible, talking about the Bible and learning from the Bible, but also to encourage you. Okay, Romans chapter 4, verse 1. What then shall we say that Abraham, our forefather, discovered in this matter? If in fact Abraham was justified by works, he had something to boast about, but not before God. What does the scripture say? Abraham believed God, and it was credited to him as righteousness. Now when a man works, his wages are not credited to him as a gift, but as an obligation. However, to the man who does not work but trusts God, who justifies the wicked, his faith is credited as righteousness. David says the same thing when he speaks of the blessedness of the man to whom God credits righteousness apart from works. Blessed are they whose transgressions are forgiven, whose sins are covered. Blessed is the man whose sin the Lord will never count against him. Is this blessedness only for the circumcised, or also for the uncircumcised? We have been saying that Abraham's faith was credited to him as righteousness. Under what circumstances was it credited? Was it after he was circumcised or before? It was not after, but before. And he received the sign of circumcision, a seal of the righteousness that he had by faith while he was still uncircumcised. So then, he is the father of all who believe but have not been circumcised, in order that righteousness might be credited to them. And he is also the father of the circumcised, who not only are circumcised, but who also walk in the footsteps of the faith that our father Abraham had before he was circumcised. Okay, we'll stop here for now. First of all, in verse 1, when he says, what then shall we say that Abraham our forefather discovered in this matter? He's again going back to his previous discussions in chapter 3, chapter 2, chapter 1. Okay, so in chapter 3, he started in verse 21 talking about righteousness through faith. Verse 28, for we maintain that a man is justified by faith apart from observing the law. Is God the God of Jews only? Is he not the God of Gentiles too? Yes, of Gentiles too, since there is only one God who will justify the circumcised by faith and the uncircumcised through that same faith. Okay, then we go into chapter 4, and Paul gets across that idea. Father Abraham. Abraham was the first patriarch after the flood that we remember. Now, there are some people who say that maybe Job was before Abraham. But Father Abraham, he followed God. Now, he wasn't perfect, as we know, but he followed God, and it was credited to him as righteousness. He believed, and he had the practical aspect of belief, which is faith. And he believed, and it was credited to him as righteousness. He believed before he was circumcised. So he was not credited as righteous because of doing the law. He was credited as having righteousness because he obeyed, but first because he believed. Okay? Faith and works go together, as we see in James, but believing is the first part. Even Jesus said to Thomas and the disciples, "Blessed are those who believe, but who do not see me." So back in chapter 4, there are a couple of things we need to know. Number one, Father Abraham is the father, and this is practical for today, is the father of the Jews and not the Jews. Therefore, in the past, there have been Christians who have been of the tribe of Ishmael, the Palestinians or Arabs, and they are Christians, and they are still there today. But there's been such great pressure and such great war and fighting that the Christians sometimes in the past, or mostly, have given up, and have become Islamic. But the Islamic people, they still are worshiping not worshiping Father Abraham, but honoring Father Abraham as one of their fathers, their patriarchs. So Paul is giving us a discussion to say, Father Abraham is the father of both. And no matter what you believe, you can be credited righteous if you believe and then you obey. You obey first and hope that God will accept you. But Jesus Christ, if you believe in Jesus, ask him into your life, he will justify you. You will be forgiven. You will have righteousness credited to your account. Whether you're circumcised or uncircumcised, you will be okay. And then we'll have a greater life and help more people and feel better about ourselves than ever before. That is the word right now. We'll go to part 2 of chapter 4 soon. Bye-bye.